Hey guys, this is Mrs. Beers. Welcome to week 4 of online learning at West Elementary. Thank you for joining me this morning. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up of what's coming up this week in ELA. We were going to be starting a new module. So when you get into your dashboard, always check to see if there are any new announcements or discussions on the discussion post because that's where teachers are posting things. So make sure you check those every time you get in here. So when you go to announcements, of course, if there are any new ones, you should see a green dot over here. We don't have any, but always make sure you're checking that, okay? Now we're going to go to modules and scroll down. And in case any of you didn't know this, if you click this little button right here, it will actually hide the weeks that you've already completed. So that way you don't have to scroll through a bunch of stuff when you're looking at this. So here we have week 4. You should always look at the pacing guide. I know that we have these up for you sometimes on announcements in different formats. Miss Eli's been making some, which are great, and you also have this here. So this will kind of keep you on track for what you have due for the week, and I hope that you are using those because that will help you to stay organized. Okay, back to modules. And it jumps down to week 4. So as you can see, we're going to be in a new module this week, module 10. It's okay, it's out of order. We did module 7 the last couple of weeks, but this module is 10. They're jumping around a little bit on us. And I'm excited about this module because it's one of my favorite subjects, American history, specifically focusing on the revolutionary times. So if you go into module 10 pretest, you can go through this. You can see right here, this is where you should be. And you'll take the pretest. Now, we just want to reinforce that you should not be worried about taking a pretest. That's exactly what it is, pre-test, before you've learned anything. So think of it as a preview, going over some stuff before you actually go through the lessons, okay? So only do the pretest once. Don't spend time trying to do it 2 or 3 times to get a perfect score. Just do it once, okay? We'll go back to the modules. Then you'll complete that pretest. And then we'll get into lesson number 1. Okay, and you'll always know you're in the right lesson because it's right here. And you can see that they're going to be focusing on authors' points and reasons. And this lesson is going to be, the major part of the reading will be called The Father of America. Okay, always go down below and check and see what you're going to be learning in this lesson. It's a good place to start. Okay, I'm going to go to page 1, Word Wisdom. Just want to point out proverbs and adages are very similar to themes, messages, lessons that you learn. Okay, so if that helps to make that connection, that's great. And we'll go on to page 2. Actually, I'm on page 3. So this is the reading, some of the reading that you'll be working on that skill of author's point, reasons, and evidence to support their points. Okay, make sure you're clicking into everything when you're going through here so you don't miss anything. Also, I want to suggest, and I'm sure most of you are already doing this, but you should have a notebook nearby. And when it gives you instructions to write something in your interactive notebook, you don't have an interactive notebook, so just write it in a regular notebook. It will be very helpful to you later on. Okay, and this is going to be the reading for this lesson about George Washington, as you can see. And let's see, what page are we on? We're on page 6. And I'm just going to close that. There we go. On this page, you're going to do a little bit of grammar. Okay, I'm sure that you've noticed as you've gone through some of these lessons that it kind of jumps around. You'll work on some reading skills, then you'll work on some grammar skills, and then you'll work on some writing skills. Well, that's what ELA is all about, English Language Arts. So I know that sometimes it can be a little confusing, but just take your time working through things. Okay, so this will teach you about what appositives are. Okay, now we're getting to the writing piece. Okay, this is where it's going to be very helpful for you to have that notebook. Okay, this is actually, if you look at my progress, I'm on page 7, and it's just going to quickly remind you of the steps in the writing process. You've probably learned them in different ways, different formats, but basically the idea is the same: collecting ideas, finding information, organizing your ideas, writing, making it better, and then having a final draft. And make sure you also click over here. You've seen this before, but it just reminds you of what you need to have in your essay to make it a great essay. And you won't be writing the essay all this week, just so that you know that. But you need to know that you will be working on collecting information for an essay. And this is actually what the writing prompt is going to be. You're going to choose one of these 4 boxes to research and answer a question about. Okay, so you might want to look those over. You don't need to decide right away. I will also send you a PDF. I will post a PDF, a screenshot of this for you so that you have it. You may also want to consider printing out this publishing checklist when the time comes for you to do the writing. But right now, you're just reading, you're going to be reading over some text. This is a text that you'll be reading and starting to think about what kind of notes you can take to support one of these 4 things that you choose. Okay, so that's important. You're only going to be picking one of these 4, and then you're going to be working on finding some facts for that. Okay, this is just taking you through some brainstorming. Exit card. Okay, and what did you learn? We're to the end of the first lesson, lesson summary. Again, these are the things you worked on during this lesson. And then you get to what is my assignment. The only thing that you need to take care of for this first lesson is to actually take the quiz at the end. Okay, there's nothing that you need to upload for this lesson. So now I'm going to move on to lesson 2, module 10, lesson 2. Still working on authors' points and reasons, but this time Daughters of Liberty will be your main reading. Again, here's your what you will be learning, just to give you a heads up. And then we'll be working on some parts of speech. Down here, I want to point out the Freyer model organizer. You've probably, exemplar, that means like a really good example. You've probably seen something like this before. It's just a way for you to learn some new words. Okay. And then the more reading. Again, during the revolutionary times. On this page, this is page 4. I want to make sure that you pay attention to this. This is really the meat of what you're learning for reading skills: author's point, and then author's reasons, and author's evidence. I know that you've been learning a lot about that and when you were back in the regular classroom, so this should be pretty good for you guys. Okay, let's see, more grammar that you'll work on. Okay, So when you get to this point, this is page 7 of lesson 2. I actually want you to skip over this page. Just go to page 8 first. The reason why I want you to do that is because I want you to go over to the notes right here, and I want you to look at this research notes graphic organizer so that you can either print this or put it in your notebook, okay, so that you will keep track of some notes. So your research question will be one of those 4 I mentioned earlier that you're going to pick, that you're going to be finding some facts about and writing an essay about, okay? So it might be helpful to have this first. Then I want you to go back to page 7, and you're just looking at this I find. This is just an acronym for you to remember the steps in writing an informational essay. So here are the writing prompts again. These 4 things: famous leader, famous event, role of women, or role of allies. You're going to pick only one of those, okay? And then you're going to go through these steps for the method of research. So the first I is idea, the F is for find, and then here you will see some websites that you can go to get some more information. And then we've talked about this in school quite a bit about the reliability of a website before you get any information from it. So please make sure you do that. That way you're getting up-to-date factual information and that it's not a website that you shouldn't be using. Okay, and then you can go down here and look through that too. Then when you go back to page 8, you'll see the second I in I find is for inform. And then the N is for notes. You're going to read through all of this. You should already have this organizer or written down in your notebook somewhere. More notes about your topic. And then declare. That's what the D stands for. And this is talking about how you should cite your notes, okay? Making sure that you are giving credit where credit is due when you get information. Okay, so there was a lot done in this lesson. Get back to the lesson summary, and your assignment for lesson 2 in module 10 is again a quiz. So that's the only thing that you actually have to take online. You will not be uploading anything for ELA yet. Okay, so please, please, please make sure that you are keeping a notebook next to you and you're writing down any important things that you'll need as you go forward. Always remember that we teachers are here to help you in any way. We have Zoom room hours. We have you can email us, you can message us through Dojo, or you can call us with the numbers that we gave you. Okay, I hope this is a good overview and that you don't run into any problems, but if you do, again, we teachers are all here. Good luck, guys. You're doing an awesome job.